Spyro's Platinum was just that good, I knew I wanted to Platinum the second. Not because the game requires zero critical thinking or anything. Anyway, Spyro 2's Ripto's Rage came at a slightly harder difficulty on PSN profiles at a whopping 3 out of 10, and contained more hours of gameplay. It was safe to say I noticed absolutely no difference from the first game. For this Platinum, I'd only need 12 bronze, 12 silver, and 5 gold trophies with a total of 30 trophies, 7 less than the first. Thankfully, this game again has no missiles, so I was able to play through blindly and enjoy it. Of course, I would be looking out for all gems in every world, as well as the other collectibles I'd need to find in order to unlock the Super Flame and pop the trophy He's on Fire. Incredibly helpfully, you get this broken power-up only once you've fully completed the game, so it basically renders it useless. But the complaining aside, this game was genuinely better than Spyro 1 and surprised me a lot. It's very rare a sequel comes close to the original. Alright, so the premise of the game is a small dwarf named Ripto has taken over the outer worlds of the Skylands, and the useless heroes of these realms decided conveniently only a dragon could defeat him. These so-called heroes are about as helpful as a safe word in prison in trying to defeat Ripto, so it was up to me to do all the work. Luckily, there are many skills to learn in making Spyro better at the game, so Skylands had nothing to fear. Dreading the bad weather, Spyro decides that he wants to go on vacation, deciding that the resting place of Nasty North was the way to go. But little did he know, there was a little scientist who had other plans for him. Spyro pops out of that portal like a newborn baby and takes in the faces of his new ranked teammates. After some friendly chit-chat,
haven't you guys ever seen a dragon before?
Can you get the fuck out of my face?
Got a problem with that pussycat?
the man, the myth, the legend, Ripto is introduced with his 2 cronies. After a bit of casual racism from Ripto, the game begins. After a little conversation with Stuart Little, I hop in and instantly start murking everything that I can see. I then meet the most annoying fuck-ass character in the entire game. This fella has me emptying my pockets at every chance he can get. So I hop in and start collecting every gem I can because this guy's gonna steal every drop from me. I encounter my first issue, clearly a skill issue because I haven't learned how to climb yet, so that meant I had to do technically another playthrough to come back to this one. Returning to the main area, I popped my first trophy, which was, well, you might as well, for completing Hunter's Challenge. This was from him teaching me the new mechanic in the game, hover, which would come in extremely handy for clearing big gaps. My next trophy came shortly after this, which was Hypersonic for lighting 6 of the gem lamps in this minigame in under 15 seconds. These minigames would form a large part of Spyro 2, which overall helped my enjoyment of the game a lot, although it heavily tested my limited brain power. Playing through some more of the levels, I single-handedly defeated this Yeti to earn my first talisman, which I would need from each level to get the 100%. In another side quest, I cooked some shitties in ice hockey and earned another orb. These blokes wanted a double or nothing for another orb, so of course I had to hand their asses to them. I also got my first 100% level completion, which would make the end trophy so much easier. I then went and found this fucking guy so I could learn to swim. It cost me an arm and a leg, but it was slightly worth it. Yep, I take it back. It was not worth it. The controls were inverted underwater, making for some of the most awkward, annoying gameplay I've ever experienced. And to top it off, there's a secret level under here that I just completely missed, which has like 4 levels that I'd be absolutely confused about in the future. I also just wanted to add this clip because I was so proud of myself when I finally figured out this puzzle. Trust me, it's harder than it looks. After exploring some more, I ran into Ballbags again, who was trying to gatekeep a bloody wall, so I paid up a fee and unlocked another level. I then abused some innocent sheep because is it really a Spyro game if you don't? Also, while I was exploring the level Hurricos, I stumbled upon another miscellaneous trophy for killing every robot. I stumbled into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I had to have a little bit of a dance party with them. And then I destroyed all of my moral code by killing that poor little starfish. Little guy's sacrifice wasn't in vain though, because I ended up killing the boss and freeing this realm from Crush. I use the term boss extremely lightly because this is a bit of a joke. Yeah, don't worry about this. This didn't happen. I didn't have any deaths. There we go. Much better. That trophy was for completing Crush's dungeon without getting hit by any of the fodder. After dealing with him, I loaded into the most majestic world in all of Skylands. Unfortunately, the Serenity was ruined when, of course, I stumbled upon Ballbag, who wanted to milk me dry of some more of my gems. It's okay though, this time was semi-worth it because I learnt how to climb. Thanks to my newfound climbing ability, I hopped into this snow level, and these kind gentlemen used me as a human catapult to get me further in. Then of course, to display my kindness, you know I had to murk some of their ops. And later on in the level, I got another trophy for completing this minigame called Bug Control, which was killing all of the Draculets in one super flight. A new mechanic in the game was the ability to pick objects up and spit them back at enemies, which I enjoyed thoroughly after I took out these floating cats. I also got an orb for resurrecting Fred Flintstone's Skelly mate, and yeah, I wish I hadn't. Whilst trying to get that awful dance out of my head, I ended up 100%ing the level. The next trophy I unlocked was Dryfoot for not touching the hazardous water in Shady Oasis. I can't take all the credit though, Shorty the Hippo was the absolute goat of this level. And just like that, I found myself facing another boss. This time it was Gulp, and he was significantly harder than Crush. He had these seeking missiles that wherever you went, it tracked to where you were, and it genuinely just sucked. Did manage to defeat him on the second or third try, but unfortunately there was no trophy pot because I had taken damage from some of the fodder, meaning I had to come back at the end for cleanup. That was no dramas though, it was all worth it to be glazed by my new girlfriend.
The castle is now free again. There's no sign of Ripto.
Thinking Ripto was defeated, it was time for Spyro to chill out until he realised that he needed to go and chase the girl of his dreams. This brought us to another majestic world, Winter Wonderland, which would be the third and final world of Spyro 2. And guess who was there to ruin the Serenity? None other than Ballbag himself, begging for money. This time it was worth it though, as I learned a new skill called Head Bash, which I could go back through the levels and get gems that I couldn't have before. Playing through one of the levels in the Winter World, I unlocked the trophy Spitball, which was for defeating every Robo Bee by spitting. I didn't do this one on accident, I did have a look at the trophy list beforehand. The next level was quite interesting, as it consisted of space cows and suicide pigs, which I don't know how family friendly that is, but it was there. I then found this cute little chicken guy stuck in his egg that I just couldn't bring myself to kill. Yeah, just kidding, my dragonfly needs to eat. That's just a food chain. After fleeing the crime scene, I got a couple of these orbs from this clanker. Okay, maybe the hard R was a bit excessive, she was quite lovely. So I decided to take down some of these UFO cows to make her feel better. After collecting all the orbs I needed, I was able to defeat Ripto once and for all. This scene reminded me of the pre-boss fights in Mario, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. The fight itself was pretty straightforward, definitely not as hard as Gulp, but we do unlock a trophy here as well, which is pretty nice. The trophy was for using all three types of power-ups in the Ripto arena, which I got completely on accident. We managed to defeat him in his third phase on the first try, which was pretty good. As a reward for defeating Ripto, we get to keep our gems thankfully, which were reluctantly handed over from Ballbag. Now that the main story was over, it was time for cleanup. I still had more than half the trophies to unlock, as well as many gems that I'd missed throughout all of the levels. The first cleanup trophy I would unlock would be Yard Work, which was for head bashing every rock in the Winter Tundra. The next level was a flying level, which, if anyone remembers from the first game, was not exactly my favourite, but we did it with pretty much no issues. Each flying level also contained a side quest in it, which was genuinely a lot of fun to complete. I then took a trip back to the level called Cloud Temples in the first world, which was for the trophy Sheeples for not hitting any sheep in the level. It took a lot of self-control, but I was able to do it. I then went back to the Space Cow level to attempt this bull boss, and after sucking for many tries, I figured out a way to just stay in the right side so I could easily defeat him. Call it cheesing it if you want, but a trophy's a trophy. I also got congratulated by this clanker, so that just made my day. I then spent the next couple of hours painstakingly checking every corner and crevice of every level in every world, trying to find the last few gems, because many of the worlds I had 399 or 398, for the life of me not being able to find where they were. Throughout searching the levels, I stumbled upon a minigame that I'd somehow missed in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles level. I unlocked the trophy Rescue for protecting these innocent turtles from Gordon Ramsay. And then after successfully thwarting the evil chef's plans, I unlocked my next trophy. This one was pretty simple, all I had to do was use a cannon to defeat a TNT thrower enemy. Moving quickly on to the next, I got the trophy Trouble No More for having a clean run in the trolley. Well, I say quickly onto the next one, but it took me about 20 tries. And finally, after about 20 minutes of brain-numbing game controls, I got the trophy. After successfully pulling all of my hair out, I moved on to the next trophy, which was Giant Slayer, for defeating every Earthshaper in Fracture Hills. This one was pretty easy, but extremely annoying at the same time. I'm just grateful I wouldn't have to look at a trolley ever again. The way the golem just sort of accepts death is super depressing, until I remember he was trying to murder me 5 seconds ago. In the next level, I unlocked the trophy Ganked, which was for absolutely cooking Hunter in this game of collecting popcorn crystals. I'm not gonna lie, he might have beat me once or twice, but we get him in the end. Continuing to fly through the trophies, I made it to the absolute topmost point of the first world in Spyro 2, and glided all the way down to this secret chest area. The view was genuinely pretty incredible, and the rendering was honestly amazing for this game, and I unlocked the trophy Long Distance for completing the long glide to Orb in Autumn Plains. And then about 2 seconds after unlocking that previous trophy, I smashed through a fake wall to find the remaining gems that I would need for the 100%. Unfortunately, I found myself back in another flying level. However, it was worth it. I did unlock the trophy Bird is the Word for flaming all of the pigeons first in Metro Speedway. I then proceeded to genuinely suck ass once again at the flying levels and died about 1 billion times before completing this one. But it wouldn't be a platinum without 100%ing the game, so of course I pushed through and eventually completed the level. I then quickly hopped into the level Colossus to smash out the trophy Using Your Head, which was for charging a goat, before subjecting myself to some more torture with yet another flying level. Yep, I'm sure you know how it goes by now. Anyway, the moral of the story is, don't give up. However, completing the level gave me enough time to get the next trophy Warm Up the Crowd, which was for genuinely just sliming the entire crowd. And because I just love pain, I hopped into the next flying level straight away to try and beat that, and after a few frustrating attempts, I ended up doing that one as well. So of course, I had to celebrate by doing some hang gliding behind Hunter. Although I'm not really sure what the purpose of hang gliding is when I'm a dragon who has wings, but it was fun nonetheless. Finishing up to 100% in all the levels brought me to the last level of the game. Another roller coaster level when I thought I'd never have to look at one again. Let's just pretend I got this level first try, and here's me receiving the coin. After winning 10 coins across various carnival games, I finally unlocked the Super Flame. I still had a handful of trophies to go, the first one being Bad Sushi for not feeding the hungry idol any redfish. And then put my Super Flame to use, earning Lockjaw for destroying every RoboShark. I then professionally speedran Scallo's Badlands without touching any of the lava, which took me about 20 seconds. Before returning to a dreaded flying level, which was for flying high for defeating the snowmobiles before defeating any hang glider. The next trophy, which was monkeying around for charging through every monkey in Mystic Marsh, was pretty easy. Although it did take me a minute to find all of them. Next, I hunted down Bob to get the Duck and Cover trophy, which was for antagonizing him basically and not getting hit by him. I majorly sucked at this part for some reason when I first did it, so I thought this would take me ages and ages to do. But taking my time, I did it on my first attempt. Now with only one more trophy before my rematch with Gulp, it was Bugging Out for defeating 5 buggies while charging. I'm surprised I didn't get this naturally playing, but here's the trophy. At this point, I could practically smell the platinum. The only thing I needed to do was my big rematch with Gulp. I purposely saved this trophy for last to have a cinematic ending to my platinum, and it definitely didn't let me down. Yeah, just kidding, I cheesed the platinum with the Super Flame. Again though, call it what you will, a platinum is a platinum, it's part of the game, intentional game design. So without any further ado, here's me whooping Gulp's ass to earn the platinum trophy for Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. I just love this game. Definitely better than the first one, even though I love the first one as well, and highly recommend to anyone. It's just good fun, relaxing, and an overall extremely enjoyable experience. The only downside, it caused me to use my brain a little bit, but worse things could happen. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and look out for Spyro 3. Cheers.